The Batman Arkham games use many villains from Batman's large rogues gallery and have some of my favorite interpretations of Batman's villains. In this video, I'm gonna go over my top 10 favorite Batman Arkham villains. First, as an honorable mention, I have Catwoman, and she was almost on this list, but then I thought about it. She isn't that much of a villain in the games and even outside of the games. Most of the time, she is helping Batman. So even though she is a cool character, she's just not 100% a villain. Number 10 is Poison Ivy, and she was in 3 out of the 4 games. The main reason she is on this list is because of her role in Arkham Knight. In Asylum, she is okay with one of the better boss fights in that game. I didn't like her in City that much, with her city design being the worst of hers. But in Knight, she was best, and had a great moment with sacrificing herself, which I thought was a great end for her character. Number 9 is the Riddler, who is one of the only villains to have appeared in all 4 games. Now, he could be annoying at times and might have been used too much throughout the games, but I still think this is a great version of the character. He's always used as side content for the games, which are his trophies and riddles, and that is sometimes cool and gives Easter eggs, but sometimes it was too much, especially with those 400 trophies in City. Number 8 is Harley Quinn, and she is another character that was in all 4 games. In Arkham Origins, we get to see her origin with the Joker, and it's a great scene with the Joker talking about his connection with Batman, and Harley thinks he is talking about her. This is a great introduction to their relationship and how the Joker doesn't really care about her. We also get to see how her character reacts to the Joker's death and what she does after that. Something we don't see that often with her character. It made sense that she was the villain in the DLC for Arkham City. It was interesting to see where her character went in Arkham Knight after Joker's death, and it was cool to play as her in her DLC for Knight. Number 7 is Hugo Strange, and he is only in Arkham City. I don't know too much about Hugo Strange outside of the games, but I think he was pretty cool here. He is very smart and finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. He is also very involved in Arkham City with Protocol 10. He has a presence throughout the whole game, counting down the time to Protocol 10. We find out that Ra's al Ghul is behind him, and before he dies he sets off Protocol 11 to blow up Wonder Tower. Number 6 is Killer Croc, and he is another villain in all 4 games, even though he only has a cameo in one of them. He changes a lot through the games physically and becomes more crocodile-like because of his condition worsening and physical trauma. He has some cool fights in the games, with him being the first boss fight in Origins, his cool sewer section in Asylum, and his fight in Season of Infamy. I think in Season of Infamy he is best because he was being experimented on and you kind of felt sorry for him, and that explored his character more. Number 5 is Scarecrow, and he was in Asylum and Knight. He was very good in both games with the cool Scarecrow sections in Asylum, and he was the main villain in Knight. I like how they set up his character for Knight with him getting taken out by Croc in Asylum, the references to him in City, and I think he was pretty menacing in Knight. I like how Batman took him out in the end using the fear toxin against him. It was pretty cool, and I like his overall story in the series. Number 4 is Ra's al Ghul, who is in 2 of the games, and generally he isn't one of my favorite Batman villains, but I really like him in these games, and this is probably my favorite version of him. I like his boss fight in City and the twist that he was kind of behind Protocol 10 and Hugo Strange. I really like what they did with his story in Season of Infamy, where you get to choose whether to save him or not. I like how that story went and what it did to his character, with him saying he's proud of Batman for making the decision not to save him. Number 3 is Bane, who is in 3 of the games, and the only reason he is even on this list, let alone this high, is because of his appearance in Arkham Origins. I don't really like his character in Asylum and City, where he's just a dumb hulking monster. In Origins, he is not just strong, but actually smart and finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. His boss fights in Origins are even better, with the TN1 Bane fight that actually gives a reason to why he is so dumb in the other games, and also why he forgets who Batman is. That happening in Origins actually makes his other appearances slightly better. Number 2 is Mr. Freeze, who is in 3 of the games. His story is so well done in these games, and this is my favorite version of the character. We get to see his beginnings in Cold Cold Heart and his end in Season of Infamy. He's not that much of a villain. He works with Batman most of the time, making a cure for him, and Batman saving Nora for him. But you do fight him multiple times, and both of his boss fights are pretty good. The end of his mission in Season of Infamy is such a beautiful scene, with him and Nora going off to live her final days together, and it's such a great ending for his character. Number 1 just has to be Joker, who is in all 4 games. I almost put Mr. Freeze at number 1, but Joker is so integral to this series, and this is one of my favorite versions of the character, so I had to pick him for number 1. Mark Hamill plays him perfectly, and even Troy Baker does a great job in Origins. In every game, he's just so fun to watch, and his death scene in City is such a great and important scene for the series. In Origins, it would have been great to see Black Mask as the actual main villain, but I really liked the twist of it actually being Joker, and the whole series was about the Joker and Batman relationship, so it had to be important in the game. His origin in the game was also really well done, with him talking to Harley and you playing through his story. Batman seeing him throughout night wasn't his best appearance, but it was needed again because their relationship is important to the overall story, so he had to be in the game even after his death in City. So those were my top 10 favorite Batman Arkham villains. Most of the villains are really well done in the series, and I like most of them. But anyway, that's all I have to say. See you next time. Goodbye.